And also what would help that,
Yes.
I think, is, if the veteran artists make better decisions. And if they value themselves.
Meaning?
Because, I am humble, that's true, but I do know my value.
No, we know you know your value.
And I understand who I am.
Yes,
I'm clear about that.
Yes, you do.
And, my business decisions and the moves that I make reflect that.
Yes.
And, I think a lot of our artists, they forget who they are. And they think that it's about your last hot record, but it's not. It's more than that. It's more than just a hot record.
I need to hear this.
It's not about just your last hot record.
Everybody be quiet, because I ain't gonna lie. I need to hear this.
It's about your career. It's about, that's one of the things Russell taught me earlier. It's about having a career. I could go out and play, and have 50, 60, 70,000 people out there. I can go out there and, do festivals. I can go do different things. And I think that, our veterans, sometimes they forget that.
Right.
They forget who they are. They get lost. They get discouraged because they make it about the radio. They make it about only 14-year-olds. They make it about...
But you can't live without your radio.
Yeah. Well, I got a television now. And
killed it. I didn't beat you in the battle. He beat me in the battle. He destroyed me.
So I just think we just have to know who we are. We got to believe in ourselves. What I would say to all the viewers is that you got to remember that dreams don't have deadlines. And you got to remember never to limit yourself. Colonel Sanders started Kentucky Fried Chicken at 65 years old. There are no limits on this thing. You can be successful as long as you want to be successful. Michael Jackson he may rest in peace, had hot records. He had a sold out world tour coming. He was 50 years old when he passed. Don't overestimate the gift of youth and underestimate the gift of experience. You know what I'm saying? Because, and like I say to all the artists out there, like there's a lot of people found out when they put their records on SoundCloud that it's not as easy to make hot shit as you thought, huh? With 4 views, huh? How you like them 4 or 5 views? How's that feel? How's that working for you? Remember when you were critiquing my album, the one you said was trash?
And now you got 7 views.
It was trash because it only went gold. Remember that? How those 4 views feel right now? You know what I mean? So can you lead the Petty Gang with me? I'm with you. Because what happened was, it's like they threw them. It's like if rap. One thing I will say about hip hop is just a sidebar. If hip hop was the NBA, it's like they took the ball and threw it to the stands. It's like the mic, like we just said, they just threw the audience in the crowd and said, "Y'all do it."
Yeah.
So now everybody's, because for every Chance the Rapper who is truly talented and amazing,
Chance the Rapper.
yes. For every one of them, there's 1,000 of them that didn't do it. So what am I saying? Basically what I'm saying is there is some skill involved with this. And it does take talent. And it isn't luck. We all need a little bit of luck sprinkled in our lives.
Of course.
But the guys who made it yourself,
right. Some
of the other artists you named, some of these guys, your favorite rappers and artists, they are talented.
Right.
And, so what the internet has showed us is it's given us the opportunity to find out that, guess what? Rappers really are talented. These guys really have talent, and they really are artists. Right. Because if that wasn't true, then everybody
would be on. If they're not.
Yeah, there's a few one-hit wonders here and there, but this thing takes talent.
Right.
So, I think that's just something that, and those old school guys out there, they need to just make better decisions and remember that they're talented and not be overwhelmed by this idea that you're obsolete and irrelevant. This is not, when you're 35 years old, you don't need to keep going back to your prom. You don't have to live life like you're going back to the prom.
I'm 39.
Exactly.
I'll be 40 this year.
Young,
I'm doing 3 parties: LA, New York, and Miami.
I love it.
Can I have you a part of one of them? I don't know why I threw that in there. I don't know what happened. Because I'm trying to promote.
That's what you do. That's what you do. I mean, how you think we got here? You're unbelievable.
But Al, let me tell you something.
I mean, really look around at the life you created.
Al,
like, hey, like, really look at this. Like, this is unbelievable.